again, friends, and welcome back for another episode of Film Trivia. As I mentioned before in my TV Fan Theories episode, there are many fan theories out there. Some of them to do with the worst films of all time, some great films as well, and popular franchises are susceptible to get their own fan theory. So, with that in mind, we're obviously going to have a look at some of these fan theories. Some of these fan theories, as I mentioned before in the TV Fan Theory episode, are so far-fetched that you're just like, how can you make these connections? Some of them really do make a lot of sense. So, kudos to anyone who has made a fan theory and has become part of popular culture or popular lore, shall we say. So, kudos to you guys. So, let's have a look at some of these film fan theories. Toy Story 3. The toys are experiencing their own Holocaust. First, I should warn you that images within this fan theory that I have used are disturbing. So if you wish to skip this, please skip now. If not, please watch and enjoy. With the Holocaust being one of humanity's worst atrocities committed by Hitler's Nazi Germany, it would be very strange for Disney Pixar to use this analogy in one of their beloved franchises. Here's the theory. When Andy leaves for college and abandons the toys, it's almost like when the Allies abandoned the Jews for the Third Reich to conquer Europe. Woody pulls the gang together and mentions that they've lost Wheezy, Etch, and Bo Peep, who were either broken and thrown away, or given away during the events of Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3, similar to Jewish families being torn apart or thrown away when they have become too old, useless, and broken. Buzz then suggests that they all go live in the attic. Does that remind you of a particular Jewish girl? Then they reach Sunnyside, the toy version of Dachau, with guards and a fascist dictatorship regime led by Lotso. Before the end of the film, they end up in an incinerator, but they are then rescued and then they go forth to their new homeland. RoboCop. RoboCop is Jesus. Okay, this may sound a little bit crazy, or it could sound awesome, but just bear with me on this one. A good man in the prime of his life is brutally shot and murdered, and is then resurrected to cleanse the world of the evildoers. Sounds a bit like good old JC there to some people. Of course, some die-hard fans have made some similarities to the man that is half man, half machine, all cop, and the Son of God, and the New Testament. This includes a shot of RoboCop walking on water, and director Paul Verhoeven has stated that this was no accident, and has also described the story as a Christ story. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Ferris isn't real and is all a creation in Cameron's mind. This is one fan theory that has made the internet rounds for many years now, so it's going to get another mention. Cameron, who has been ignored by his parents and has been for many years, creates his own best friend, none other than Ferris Bueller. We all know Ferris. He's cool, he's popular, he's daring, he's witty, he's quick thinking, he does a great impression of the Beatles, and he knows how to have some fun. Cameron, though, is quite the opposite. Cameron, whilst ill, depicts that Ferris is everything that he wants to be, and that Ferris is also in a relationship with Sloane, the girl of Cameron's dreams, and he knows that he will never be with her. At the end, Cameron confronts his demons and destroys his father's prized Ferrari, and finally becomes a bit like Ferris. And he creates a fairy tale ending in which Ferris never gets caught by Rooney or his parents and shares a beautiful ending with Sloane. Pulp Fiction. The briefcase contains the soul of Marcellus Wallace. This is another theory that has made the internet rounds, so let's roll with it. The theory is that the briefcase contains the soul of Marcellus Wallace after he sold his soul to the devil for wealth and status. Here are some of the clues. The combination to open the briefcase is 666. Samuel L. Jackson makes many biblical references. The plaster on the back of Marcellus Wallace's neck is said to be the point, according to the Bible, where Satan pulls souls out from. When the briefcase is opened, a golden glow emits from inside the case, and Tim Roth exclaims, "Is that what I think it is?" which has led to the myth of Wallace's soul inside the briefcase. Titanic. Jack Dawson was actually a time traveller. Titanic. The second highest grossing film of all time, one of 3 films to win 11 Academy Awards, the film that gave us Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On, and one of the greatest romantic cinematic achievements ever in the history of film. But here's a science fiction plot twist to this touching tale of love overcoming all social boundaries. According to some theories, Jack Dawson was a time traveller to prevent Rose DeWitt Bukater from committing suicide. Bit far-fetched? Here's the evidence to support this theory. Jack makes subtle references to man-made structures that by April 1912 were not in existence, such as Lake Wissota, which was made 5 years after the sinking of the Titanic, and a roller coaster on Santa Monica Pier, which was not constructed until 4 years after the sinking of the unsinkable ship. Also, his rucksack and hairstyle seemed a bit out of place at the time, and he had to gamble his way onto the Titanic, seeing as he didn't have any money from that time period. Aladdin. The whole film is set in the future. With this film being set in an ancient Middle Eastern kingdom, how can this film be set in the future? And not just any future, a dystopian future. All of 3 hints make this feasible. When the genie first meets Aladdin, he exclaims that his outfit is so 3rd century. When the genie is first brought out of the lamp, he states that he's been in there for 10,000 years, leading some to believe that the year is 10,300 AD. All of the things in the kingdom are technological marvels from the past, such as flying carpets and genetically engineered parrots capable of human speech. Or you could just enjoy the film for what it is. Ghostbusters. The Ghostbusters were killed after crossing the streams in their fight against Gozer, and the events of Ghostbusters 2 are in purgatory. Egon gave us a very handy tip when it comes to crossing the streams. Try to imagine all life as you know it, stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light. Yep, handy and good to know. Still, the Ghostbusters went against this tip during their fight against Gozer to defeat him, or her. So, did crossing the streams kill the Ghostbusters during their fight against Gozer? And were the people of New York holding a posthumous celebration in honour of their departed heroes? Unlikely, seeing as they were confronted by medical teams, they were seen by the fans, embraced by people, and generally acknowledged as surviving the fight. But hey, let's see what this theory is all about. After defeating Gozer by crossing the streams, the Ghostbusters were killed and made heroes, and posthumous celebrations were held to honour them. The events of Ghostbusters 2 are the Ghostbusters living their existence in purgatory, where no one remembers them or their contribution to saving New York City. Such ungrateful bastards. Grease. Sandy drowns and imagines everything in a coma. Grease is one of the most iconic musicals ever made. It's not one of my favourites, but hey, I'm just not a fan of musicals. Anyway, this tale of high school romance has a bit more of a morbid twist according to this theory. During the song, Summer Nights, Danny sings a line about saving Sandy from drowning. After saving her, she falls into a brain-dead coma. She then dreams a wonderful dream of a wonderful year in high school, falling in love with Danny, building everlasting friendships, and becoming a woman. Finally, during the song, You're the One That I Want, the red grease lightning ascends into the heavens. It is Sandy dying and her soul moving on to the next life. Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. They exist as films within the Tim Burton's Batman universe. This isn't even news, but Batman Forever and Batman and Robin are the bastard children of Tim Burton's Batman and Batman Returns, with Forever being just about watchable and Batman and Robin being an absolute crime against humanity. Here's a twist though. What if Batman Forever and Batman and Robin exist as films within Burton's Batman universe? What if, after the events of Batman Returns, Bruce Wayne is so distraught at the thought of Selina Kyle being dead, when we, the audience, know that she isn't, he becomes so distraught that he retires from being Batman and reveals himself to be the Caped Crusader. What comes next then? A furor of press talks, books, and eventually films being made about his exploits as Batman, which leads to Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. This could be used to explain the dramatic change in Gotham City from Burton's Batman films to Schumacher's Batman films, with Burton's Gotham City being dark, gothic and industrial, and Schumacher's Gotham City looking like an architect went on an acid trip with neon. To further explain this theory and severe lack of continuity is to assume that Forever and Robin are campy, kid-friendly films loosely based on the real life of Bruce Wayne Batman. It would explain why Batman is portrayed by three people. Keaton is the real Bruce Wayne Batman, and Val Kilmer and George Clooney are actors hired to portray the Dark Knight. It would also help to explain the change of ethnicity of Harvey Dent, with him being African American in Batman and Caucasian American in Forever. If the people of Gotham City really did live within Burton's vision of Gotham, then they would require all the colourful escapism that they would need to escape from their harsh, grim reality of everyday lives, even if it means giving Batman a motherfucking credit card. The Lion King. Mufasa is in fact a god. We all know and love The Lion King. It is one of the greatest animated films in existence. Hands down, end of story, period. So what's this talk of Mufasa being a god? Well, here's the story behind this theory. After Mufasa is killed by his brother Scar, Scar assumes control of Pride Rock after tricking Mufasa's cub, Simba, into running away. In Simba's absence, Pride Rock transforms from a beautiful paradise to a wasteland. Luckily, Simba returns, defeats Scar, and assumes his position as king, and Pride Rock begins to flourish once again. This theory proceeds to suggest that Mufasa is a god. Before Mufasa is killed by Scar, he uses weather-controlling super god-like powers to transform Pride Rock into a desolate wasteland as long as Scar is in power, leading to the animals becoming disgruntled and angry while Scar is in power. Mufasa then appears to Simba in a godlike vision. Think Moses here, people. Urging Simba to return to Pride Rock, whip Scar's ass, and assume his rightful place as king of Pride Rock. And let's face it, that shot of Mufasa in the clouds, it is rather godlike. Anyway, Simba returns to Pride Rock, defeats Scar, and becomes the king of Pride Rock. And then after Scar's death, it begins to rain and Pride Rock flourishes once again, all thanks to Daddy God Mufasa. Star Wars, the prequel trilogy. Jar Jar Binks is not a moron and is in fact a skilled user of the Force and is a Sith collaborator. Let's face it, we all hate Jar Jar Binks. He's just a twat. A stupid, bumbling, fucking twat. Or is he? This theory suggests that Jar Jar Binks is a master of the Force and is a Sith collaborator to get Palpatine into power. Jar Jar utilises subtle hand gestures and uses the Jedi mind trick to make unsuspecting people do his bidding and do what he wants. And with his role in the Galactic Senate, he grants Chancellor Palpatine with emergency powers which give him vast power to overthrow the Senate and bring together the Galactic Empire, granting himself the title of Emperor and bringing across a dictatorship across the galaxy. Finally, both Jar Jar and Palpatine are from Naboo, so in theory, they could have met years before the events of the Phantom Menace and made this devious plot. Either way you look at it, no matter how you look at it, the Star Wars is all Jar Jar's fault. Dickhead. Inception. Cobb had a different totem. Inception, one of the greatest films ever produced due to its cerebral plot, mesmerising CGI effects with landscapes changing, and it's a bit of a mindfuck whilst it's at it. And it has one of the most debated endings of recent history. So, in the film, to help the characters determine whether or not they are in the real world, they have what is known as a totem. This helps them identify whether or not they are in the real world or in a dream. Cobb's is a spinning top. Or is it? The theory is that Cobb's real totem is his wedding ring, not the spinning top. In the real world, he doesn't wear his wedding ring, but in the dream world, he always has his wedding ring on. This somewhat makes the ending less ambiguous, because in one of the last scenes, you can clearly see that Cobb is not wearing his wedding ring, meaning that he has returned to reality and his children. Deadpool. Deadpool wrote his own movie. What's there to say about Deadpool? It was the breakthrough film of 2016 and it proved that a superhero film could be hilarious, brutal and all-round super fun, and it also proved that the role was tailor-made for Ryan Reynolds. With what we know about Deadpool, besides his healing abilities, his ninja killing skills, and his vast amount of jokes, the main thing we know about Deadpool is that he regularly breaks the fourth wall. Could it be that Deadpool authored his own film? The idea that Deadpool wrote Deadpool within the X-Men cinematic universe, i.e. not in real life, makes a lot of sense. Let's have a look at some of the ideas to support this theory. As mentioned before, Deadpool is fully aware that he is telling a story and regularly breaks the fourth wall to talk to the audience. Colossus in this movie looks more akin to his comic book counterpart than the Colossus who was introduced in X-Men 2. He makes references to Wolverine and both incarnations of Professor X, portrayed by James McAvoy and Sir Patrick Stewart, and states that he can't follow the timeline. And why does Deadpool look like Ryan Reynolds? Because of a panel in Cable and Deadpool Volume 1, Issue number 2. The real Deadpool is most likely fuck ugly before his Weapon X treatment, and because he is in charge of his own movie, of course he's going to pick a chick magnet like Ryan Reynolds to play him, cast a shit hot chick to play his girlfriend, and place him in a scene in a strip club with his good friend Stan Lee. It's something Deadpool would do. So the movie Deadpool is a movie within a movie franchise, meaning it's a film that Wolverine, Storm and all of the other X-Men would have paid to see and then walked out of. The Dark Knight. The Joker is the real hero of Gotham. First of all, I love The Dark Knight. I think it is quite legitimately one of the greatest films ever made. And it's made all the better because of Heath Ledger's iconic Academy Award performance as Batman's arch nemesis, the Joker. We all know the Joker, the psychopathic clown who kills anyone who gets in his way, the man who considers Batman to be his yin to his yang, the man who plans and executes the most meticulous of plans, and hands down the greatest comic book villain ever. But what if the Joker is actually the hero and not the villain? Let's have a look at some of the points to support this theory. The Joker from the beginning plans everything meticulously. He sets up Harvey Dent as a martyr. He rids Gotham City of organised crime by destroying their cash flow and subsequently kills them. Through these events, he convinces Batman to retire, yes, albeit in a shocking manner. It makes the 8 years of peace that we see at the beginning of The Dark Knight Rises a culmination of the Joker's calculated chaos and not through the actions or sacrifice from the Dark Knight himself. So that concludes this episode on film fan theories. Let me know in the comment section below if you have your own fan theories on any particular film. Stay tuned with Directive 4 because we're going to be uploading some more videos soon. So take care, have a good day, enjoy yourself wherever you are in the world, and as always, thank you for watching.